Welcome to part 2 of our Premier League Newcomers mini-series, and today we're off to West London to the city's OG football club, Fulham, and their home of Craven Cottage. We're heading back to the late 18th century when a cottage was built in the West London area of Fulham, built by English nobleman William Craven. The cottage was resided in for over 100 years, including a French chap called Napoleon III during his exile in England, when it would be destroyed by a fire in 1888, with the site being subsequently abandoned. 9 years earlier, London's first professional football club would be formed in nearby West Kensington, taking the name of Fulham St Andrew's Church Sunday School FC. The club would hop around 8 grounds before coming to Craven Cottage in 1894, but the area was so overgrown it would take 2 years to make the land suitable for football. The early facilities of the ground consist of terracing, nearly made up from excavations from Shepherd's Bush Underground Station. The stadium would be improved during the 1903-04 season with the construction of a new wooden stand with a seating capacity for 1,200 spectators, nicknamed the Rabbit Hutch. The stand would only last for 18 months, however, when the local council demanded it to be teared down as it was classed as a dangerous structure. In 1905, a certain Scottish architect, Archibald Leach, who came to prominence designing Rangers Ibrox Stadium, was hired to work on the stadium. Leach would help design a new pavilion, which is today's cottage, and the Stevenage Road stand, in his characteristic red brick style. In October 1938, the ground experienced its highest capacity of 49,355 for a match between Fulham and none other than England's naughtiest team. In 1972, saw the removal of the existing riverside terracing to construct a 4,200-seater stand, originally called the Miller Stand after club director Eric Miller, which is presently known as the Riverside Stand. With the arrival of the Taylor Report in the 1990s, Craven Cottage still had standing areas within the ground, and by the time it reached the Premier League in 2001, these standing sections were still there, and time had ran out to do something. The result saw Fulham having to decamp to local rivals QPR. After 1.5 seasons at Loftus Road, no work had been undertaken, with fans becoming increasingly concerned whether they would make it back to Craven Cottage. However, in 2003, plans were unveiled for a major refurbishment of the ground to bring it up to Premier League standards, and work on Fulham's new look 22,000 all-seater stadium finished for the start of the 2004-05 season. Over the past few decades, Fulham have looked at expanding the capacity of the ground, but nothing would come about until 2019, when the redevelopment of the Riverside Stand would commence, which would see the addition of nearly 4,000 seats onto the new stand, as well as new leisure and hospitality facilities, with the most interesting addition being 9 serviced apartments, complete with a swimming pool. The full opening of development is expected for summer 2023, and will certainly not help with trying to steer the club's reputation away from being one of England's yuppiest clubs.